Today, I would like to explore how it causes our unnecessary suffering when we let the mind be the master. Um, the conditioning of our human consciousness is so deep. Our conditioned mind is so used to judge everything, every experiences as good or bad, right or wrong, based on uh, the preferred experiences versus experiences um, we don't enjoy, we don't like um, from our human perspective. Um, Part of the awakening is to see things as they truly are, to investigate our thoughts, our um, judgments as to whether they are true or not, is not to uh, take the opposite position of what it judges. For instance, um, about something in our actual life. For instance, racism. Um, the conditioned mind can righteously say there should be no racism. To investigate whether this thought is true or not is not to take the position and say there should be racism, but to look and see um, racism is part of uh, what's going on in our actual living, which is, of course, based on the state of consciousness, um, the human mind, the human uh, is embodying. That's what's actually happening. To feel so righteous and say there should be no racism is only to deny um, the part of reality, to deny the state of consciousness um, we human beings are in when those things happen. But to see the untruth of this statement, say there should be no racism, is not to say racism is right or wrong, good or bad. Deep in our heart, we actually know um, this is not the embodiment of our true nature. To see its untruth is just to be conscious of what actually is and not rejecting or resisting in the way of the egoic consciousness saying that's just wrong, that should not be. Um, that's egoic because it's based on separation. So here is, this righteous I um, telling the rest of the universe that is wrong, that should not be. Because this kind of resisting or rejecting reality only causes unnecessary suffering, and it actually empowers what it resists or rejecting or judging. Uh, it contributes to such suffering. So whenever the conditioned mind disagrees or rejects what actually happened or is happening or may likely happen, that causes unnecessary suffering. Most of us may have some experiences that happened in the past we may not really like, and then the conditioned mind is used to the kind of thought that should not have happened, or somebody should not have done that to me, or I should have not done that to somebody else. This kind of thoughts cause unnecessary suffering, and then we see its untruth because that happened. And should or should not are just thoughts. We can learn from past experience, but if we judge in the way the conditioned mind does, feeling either kind of anger towards someone based on the judgment, say that person should not have done that to me, or feeling guilty based on the kind of judgment, say I should not have done certain things at that time, only causes unnecessary suffering. Everything happened based on the inner state of consciousness at that moment, and we can choose not to take things personal, because ultimately there is really nothing personal. When we don't take things personal, it's much easier to see more clearly what actually is going on. And when someone appears to be angry or not so nice towards others, usually what happens is he or she may be in some kind of pain, psychological pain. Um, and it is calling or crying for help. Those pain is calling for help. But the individual who embodies that and acts it out may not be conscious of that. Um, and if we can see it's not about us, if that individual is angry with us, is not saying nice things to us, it's not really about us, but about the inner state of consciousness he or she is embodying, is in. Then we can just be conscious of that and relax and give some space um, to that individual. And it may help the healing process if a certain um, response is called for uh, with this clarity, the response uh, can arise from a place where true healing may happen. So about trying to hold on to so-called good things, good experiences, is actually also a form of resistance or rejection, because trying to hold on to something is just to resist the opposite of what we're trying to hold on to. So in that sense, it's again the conditioned mind disagreeing or resisting what actually was, is, and may likely be. Seeing that clearly is not let the mind be the master, but be being conscious of what actually is going on and interact with life uh, from a more true place, from what we truly are, our true being. And this can be our spiritual practice, which contributes to um, our well-being and the well-being of all beings. Thank you.